Hello, everyone. Sorry, my voice. I'm not feeling very well, but I'm for speak 5 minutes. I think I can handle. But in the first place, I would like to all the speakers, candidates, stay in here, and the people staying home in the office to see our presentation, and all the team will prepare this amazing spectacle. The content, we'll see, is very nice, the content. So my presentation, we'll divide my presentation in 2 steps. 2 steps, why? First, because I can speak more than 5 minutes, sorry. So I asked Nuno to help me to present part of my presentation. And we'll see. Let's go ahead and we'll see. So my presentation is Innovation, Technology and Creativity. In the last 24 years, my life, a little more than 24 years, my life is management companies. I management in the past, one pharma company, not J&J, sorry. And after that, I stay in one company, consultant company, and active company, and finally in 2004 creates BI for All. So BI for All is a mix between my experience in life, in terms of management, in terms of IT, and with DNA, we create with my partners, Hugo and Andrew, stay with me this last 22 years. It's too much time. More than the wife, sorry. So, but BI for All is very bigger. BI for All, I think you don't know, but is in terms of companies focus on in one area, I think is one of the most, in terms of Europe, big companies in Europe operating in this area, nothing more. In 2000, yes, sorry. And in terms of projects, more than 1,500 projects, but I think it's much more. But Carla, don't tell me, don't let me put more. 2,000 people don't believe. Yes, believe it. You don't know, but more or less at the same time existing 16, 17 customers, different customers every month. It's not a project, customers, okay, it's different. So it's a huge company. It's very proud. I stay in the front of this company, and at the front of my team, good team. Let's go. Before talking my subject, it's important to I show a part of one book. This book, this is in Portuguese book, sorry, but it's a book of management. This book is part of my knowledge in these years. Every at the front of the companies, work in the companies. And this book represents the best of the breed. We act in terms of management companies. And this book, until 2020, is up-to-date book. The title is Integrate Model from Management, Efficient and Risk Management. This title is funny because the title we give by Professor Dr. João Carvalho das Neves. Is a friend of mine. He's a big teacher in Portugal, and I love and represents to me a lot about this subject. And I read this book in 2011, and until 2 years ago, this book is very up to date. Now, after COVID, everything is changed. Sorry, not this. Everything is changed. It's changed because the variables, do you know it? Completely different. The markets, the people, the environment in terms of the markets, the uncertainty in the future, complexity in the companies, in the market. If you, in the past, you may create a budget to 1 year, and planning the budget, okay, if we achieve 80% of my budget, my planning is it's okay. Today is very difficult to find. So, management the companies is more complexity, more difficult if existing a few people, when people know the solution from $1 million question, how can management the good management one company? Good luck, because I don't believe in the solution until now. Existing, yes, part of the solutions is existing the good practice, existing technologies. When you will see during these 2 days, technologies to help our business, but it's kind of enough. Okay, it's more the complexity. VUCA is acronym, represent the first letters of 4 words: volatility, uncertainty, complexity, ambiguity. Sorry, my voice, I need to. And represent this world, actually this world. But you don't know. But in the United States post-war college, this is a famous area in terms of, sorry. In the United States, during years 19, sorry. In 19 years, United States studying this subject because the post-war is very important in United States. So, but in this case, only is more okay. Existing a few part of the companies studying between the volatility, the market, and certainly in the market, the complexity in the business. Is today is completely different. And ambiguity. Today is true, tomorrow is not true. So, management when the company, until 2 years ago, these variables is more stabilized. I have a word, the people, the person like us, is impossible to management complexity systems. Complexity systems through artificial intelligence, mathematical, and our programmers, of course, it is possible to arrange the solution with accuracy 80% of success. But we don't leave complexity systems. We leave system complicated. It's completely different. System complicated is you driving in the road and every change in the scenario change until your velocity, capacity, attention, and the cars and the traffic, everything change. I think you know, but for example, in terms of traffic in the autonomous conduction, this moment in the market existing one scale 1 to 5, and 4 and 5 is the 2 last scales. This completely autonomous driving cars, and in this moment I think is achieved 2.5, not 3, and 2.5 and 3. What does mean? It mean the 3 is mean you driving, you put the hands in the, for example, and down. But if the car see one scenario you don't recognize, give the alert and please put the hands in the wheel. So this is the maximum expectable until now to driving autonomous condition. So it's not easy to define and change the management when the company in this way. For example, existing when I think part of the company management in the companies know, but in our case, for example, in the beginning of COVID, when I speak with my collaborators, it's important to come up to the office because it's important, because we need to create the good synergies to learning, to teaching, to create the connections, the profit, the profit in the terms of capacity in the project is more better, but And it is important too, in the final, you know, we are society animals. It's not animal of the cave. It's not existing. So, in terms of capacity of sociality, it's important to go up to the streets. But all the message we deposit, for example, in my teams, 30% or 20% of the people don't recognize the message with the positive message, recognize different message. So this is a system complicated because my idea is push the teams, push the guys to learning more, to explaining more, to create good energies, but it's very difficult. This is a system complicated. It's difficult, it's not existing one solution to the problem. This is the problem, but existing a lot of problems in the world. So, this is one idea. How can achieve the good way to fight with the VUCA world? First, relearn to walk. We need to readapt our steps, readapt our position, readapt our... It's not good to open, I don't know the name in English, sorry. But it is important to relearn to learn. Second, be patient and calm. Now it lasts years. For example, send one news in the paper about the state puts 4 days of work, 3 days of house in terms of the work. And part of the companies, 5% or 1% of the company, good idea. I testing in my companies too. This is not the good way to work and good way to make decisions. You need to see, you need to patient, you need to see all the arrangement, you need to see the results, you need to see the profits, you need to see everything until decide, make a decision. This is important. Be patient, please. Look closely. Look closely. This is an expression because with during now, for example, in the hybrid systems, for example, it's very difficult to find the goods, the stars in the company. It's difficult to find one solution, the best way to create and make solutions, because you find the solution, but you don't. It's not easy because all the variables in the market will change. So you need solutions. You need to create. You need to look and look and look. This is not easy. And finally, think outside of the box. I'm sure I'm an old management school. I'm an old man in this new world. I don't know if I can solve the problems in this world. I don't know. But my team, I know BI for All is one of the best companies working in this area. I know because we found it, because I see, because I know, because I feeling in my blood. Every day when I stay in the office, I feeling, and customers too. But it's very difficult. But the only way to live and survive is outside of the box, of course, helped by technology, creativity, and it's go on. Finally, data, and more data. You go, okay. I put the second step from this slide is Nuno help, because I think it's my last slide. Data is not information to decision. Data. When the data is not good, it's not solve nothing. And now with the clouds, cheaper clouds, and the capacity of processors, all the companies and the people warehouse stock data, but that is not information. And in this case, this is area on BI for All work very well in terms of analytics, in terms of digital transformation in the companies, digital transformation in companies in the VUCA world, not a traditional world, forget the traditional world, create scenarios, scenarios through scenarios. You make the scenarios 1 year, it's too much time. It's important to create a scenario and 3 months, for example, another scenario, and 3 months, different scenario. If existing a possibility to create an intermediate another, yes, create a scenarios, because the world is not the same. So this is my idea. This is the tools, part of the big words, big buzzwords. I don't like the buzzwords, but it's true. To represent how can BI for all help. Nuno, please. Thank you very much. I'm sorry.
Thank you, Zé. I know how hard it was to make this presentation, and I really, really appreciate you stepping in, even with your voice the way it is. So really, really good. And everyone, this is a special moment for me. If you may remember, 1 year ago, I was here on this same stage, but I was actually a customer. I was a customer of BI for All, and I was invited to come here as a keynote speaker to speak about how data and AI is changing healthcare. A topic that we will address today as well, with a panel of some really, really nice people that will join me. But last year, I was one of them, and now I'm so pleased to host you in BI for All. I'm so pleased that I joined this amazing company after 15 years of being a customer. So bear with me as I take a little bit of time to tell you a little bit about how data is actually going to be crucial to navigate in the world that Zé was speaking about. Who from us could predict in 2019? Put yourself 3 years ago, November 2019. Who in this room in the world could predict what we were about to face in the following 3 years? COVID, everyone sent home. What the hell? How am I can survive in this new environment? My teams are gone. Everyone is disappearing. There is a health crisis. There is a social crisis. There is economic crisis. There is all kinds of different dilemmas going on for a couple of years. And we just adapted. We adapted very well. And the companies that were able to adapt faster are the ones that are thriving right now and doing really, really well. But then, it was not just enough to have this pandemic behind us. In the back of the pandemic, when we were starting to raise our heads again and start getting into the new world, a new war comes in. And now, all of a sudden, we're seeing inflation as we've never seen before. We're seeing a volatility in the world that we cannot imagine how to predict. So, what can help organizations, what can help all of us in this scenario? Information, insights. But as Zé said, data is not information, and information is not knowledgeable insights. So, how do we go from data to insights? Actually, what we see is that with the use of artificial intelligence, machine learning, and new technologies that are available to us now, we are actually being able to start taking advantage of all the data that is being generated. I don't know any company in the world that is not going through digital transformation right now. Everyone is thinking about digitalization. Everyone is thinking about going digital. But what comes with digital? Data. So now, there is more data than we've ever been able to see in the past. Data that is being generated at a speed that is completely unbelievable. We were in Switzerland just a couple of months ago, and there was someone speaking about the Space Center, the European Space Center, saying that today, 20 terabytes of data, 20 terabytes of data are being generated on a daily basis for public consumption. Think about geolocation. Think about what's going on with global warming. Think about what's going on with our oceans. 20 terabytes of data being generated daily for our consumption. However, how do we take 20 terabytes of data daily and make sense of it? How can we turn this data into knowledge? How can we turn this data into insights? That's where AI comes in. And there is a lot of progress that we're seeing in AI right now. Models are becoming more and more sophisticated. Companies are investing more and more in these algorithms that are helping to make the right decisions. However, it's not easy to make AI work in our organizations. There is a lot of also some considerations that we need to take in care if we want to make sense of AI and data in today's world. One that I'm very, very passionate about is putting these tools in the hands of the end user. So all our organizations have our technical departments. Obviously, BI for All is here to help you. However, these can only scale when these tools, these technologies are in the hands of everyone that they can use to significantly explode in terms of how we can use these technologies for the organization. So we need to make it accessible to the end users so they can start making more use of it. But then there is other elements that are pretty impressive. One, and we need to be very careful about those. It's about making AI human, and it's about ethical AI. Ethical AI, we will speak more about that in the panel that we're going to have just in a couple of minutes. But I usually say that just because we can do it doesn't mean that we should do it. Think about, just because we can do it doesn't mean that we should do it. And in today's world, we can do a lot. We can do a lot with the data that is available to us. We can do things, for example, in human resources with the data that is available to us. But think about what kind of considerations we should have when we start using this personal data for the wrong purposes. If it's with good intent, it's amazing. But sometimes even with good intent, we need to start thinking about the consequences of what we're doing. So we start seeing more and more AI councils, governance councils on AI to make sure that it's not about can we do it, it's about we should do it. And obviously with all data, there is significant cyber considerations that we always need to pay attention to. But I wanted to give you a couple of examples of how AI is actually changing the world. And it's easy to think about process automation. It's the more natural element of AI. But when you start speaking about AI together with imaging, then a completely new opportunity comes along. And augmented reality is one that I'm completely passionate about. I was in a company recently, and they were showing me how Mercedes-Benz is actually using augmented reality to help engineers on the other side of the world to be able to address technical challenges that otherwise they would not be able to do, or they would need to fly engineers all over the world to address an element that now, with augmented reality, you can put your glasses on, you're looking at the engine, and the system is taking you through all the steps of what you need to do in that procedure. Think that about healthcare and so on. So augmented reality is really, really amazing. Crowd monitoring. In previous version of Tomorrow, we spoke about what BI for All did with monitoring crowds in the beaches during COVID. Crowd density with low density, low performance cameras to make sure that we would protect the identities of the people that were on the beaches. But through imaging, we could see if there was too much density, too much population in a certain beach, so we could avoid big gatherings when we needed to keep people apart. but also facial recognition, and how is that going to help on precision marketing, or on you go through the door and welcome, Mr. Nuno, glad to have you back. So it's really, really amazing what you can do with computer vision, and also some of the processes that we can do now. For example, I'm passionate about this because I was personally involved in this example. But in supply chain, think about kits that need to be replenished every day. And these kits are thousands and thousands of pieces inside the kits that needs to be monitored and replenished, as I said. Before, it would be completely manual work to open kit by kit, seeing what was missing, replenishing the pieces, and then send it to invoicing and the rest of the supply chain. Think about how, with computer vision, you can have an image of the kit, immediately ask the algorithm to detect what are the missing pieces on the kit, and automatically replenish all that supply chain. Think about how the process improvement could be, and the cost avoidance that can happen in an immediate moment in time. So I want to thank you, but I also want to send you a message of inspiration. Data is not knowledge, and knowledge is not actionable insight. So we are creating huge amount of data. Every single organization right now, through their digital transformation, is creating data as never before. But companies like BI for All, it's helping you to transform data into information, and information into knowledgeable insights. So work with us in partnership, and let's unleash the power of data. Thank you. But to help me personalize a little bit more with real examples of what's happening in this world in healthcare, I would like to invite to the stage a couple of two very special guests. One, Sofia. Sofia from Hospital Lusíadas. Hospital Lusíadas is one of the hospital groups in Portugal, and Sofia is driving the digital transformation of the hospital, and it's amazing to have you here with us. And Nicholas, I don't see Nicholas, I hope you're around. Oh, perfect. And Nicholas from CSL V4, responsible to drive commercial excellence in a pharmaceutical company. And between the three of us, we're going to have an open conversation around what's happening in digital technology and data in the area of healthcare.